All right, welcome back to Bessemer City. Cherryville going to kick off to start this second half to the Yellow Jackets. I'd like to remind you that next week you can go back and watch replays of this ball game, highlights and replays on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/whatsupshopper. Here we go. The kick is away to start the third quarter, and we are underway once again, and it's kicked out of bounds. Looks like it went out of bounds at the 24-yard line. And you're right, they did. They kicked it away from Josh Adams, who returned one tonight for 95 yards, but it was brought back due to a block in the back. So that one went out of bounds, and they will get the football at the 35-yard line. We've got some kind of official timeout here.
Well, they're going to make them re-kick it. Normally, you either make them re-kick it or take the yardage, and I think that Bessemer City is going to make Cherryville re-kick it. Take the penalty on the kickoff and mark it back and make them kick further back from the 35-yard line, I believe.
Well, again, Josh Adams back there to receive. Also back there for Bessemer City is Cedric Mackey. As well as Adams. So they've got a triple threat back there. Let's see if they try to kick it away again from Davis here. They do. It goes to Mackey. Mackey will return it across the 25, now the 30, 35, and up inside the 40. So a little bit better there than where they were going to originally start at the 35. So Mackey returns it after the re-kick out to close to the 40. Actually, they will spot it down on the 40. And 1st and 10, Yellow Jackets. They trail 7-0 as we start this third quarter. Here's Bess. Bess, handoff to Mackey. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a no gain. Bring up 2nd and 10.
But no gain on the play for Mackey.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10. So here's Bess. He's going to pitch it out. There's across the 40, now the 45, down inside the 45. Josh Davis on that toss sweep. Nice little run there by Davis. And that's going to be spotted down on the 47-yard line. Yellow Jackets have some options with Davis. They've got Bess who can keep it. They've got Mackey. Here's Mackey right up the middle, takes a tough hit and keeps on going. There's a first down. That's a nice looking run by Mackey. He's a tough kid, let me tell you. Nice looking run by Mackey. Give him a first down. Bess faked it to Mackey, kept it out to the left. Showed that ball a little too much, I think, and ended up keeping it and getting taken down. Lost a yard on that one. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. A loss for Bess there. Ball spotted down on the 44-yard line of the Ironman. Turner out to the right, and another one out to the left. Here's a handoff up to the middle for Mackey. Across the 40. So here's a third down for the Yellow Jackets. 3rd and 5. Bess. Handoff to Mackey. It's another tough run for Mackey. It's going to come up short, though, by a couple yards. That'll bring up 4th down. I think you go for it here on this 4th and about 3, maybe 2.5. Let's see if they go to Mackey again. They've also got Adams back there. So Adams and Mackey back there. They go to Mackey right up the middle, and he's going to get the first down.
6, 5, 5.
Mackey looks really good on this drive.
Yeah, this could be the way that Bessemer City gets back in the game. It's just, grind it up the middle, use some time off the clock, keep it away from Cherryville's offense, and just see if Mackey can get you into the end zone without trying to do anything fancy here. He's certainly driven them down the field now already and seems to have good, strong legs here in the second half of this contest. Another first down for Bessemer City and Mackey.
Here's the pitch out. Adams on the toss, and he's taken out of bounds. He'll get some yardage there.
31 to the
27.
4 yards.
4-yard gain for Adams. Nice looking drive here to start things for Bessemer City. This was one that started back around their own 40, right? 39, something like that.
Keeps getting worse for Lincoln, and they trail South Point now 42-0.
Wow. Oh, fumble by the Yellow Jackets, but covered up. And we've got a late hit flag. I'm not so sure about that one. But that'll be the call against Cherryville. The home crowd's not going to like that one, I'll tell you that right now.
Fumble -3 on the play.
And then a late hit foul.
And then a late hit.
That's a tough call to take, especially on a fumbled football like that. I mean, you coach these guys when the ball hits the turf, go after it. I think that's all they were doing right there.
But if the whistle's already blown, then you got to stay off of him, and the whistle apparently had blown. But a 15-yard penalty on Cherryville. That is now the 10th penalty on the Ironman tonight.
Wow.
For 100 yards.
So on the first down, there's a nice pitch, turning the corner and into the
Touchdown.
end zone. There you go, Josh Davis. Josh Davis on the touchdown on that toss sweep. A little option out to the left, and he had Davis. That pitch was right on the money. He caught Davis in stride, and stride it is what took him into the end zone to make it 7-6 now. Bessemer City has started this second half with the score. 7-6 on your B&B Building scoreboard. Here's Jackie Adams.
He struggled last week,
and he got
it this
that
week.
one. Towed it through. 7-7 on your B&B Building scoreboard. All knotted up here in quarter number 3. There you see it on your screen. 6:47 to go. We'll take a break. Derek and Dan will be right back after these messages.
Josh Davis. His number is 12.
Take 36% off. That's right, 36% off during the Samsung bestsellers at your nearest Hendrick Appliance location, including Samsung washers, dryers, and refrigerators. Plus, take 20% off Samsung's best-selling ranges and ovens. It's a red, white, and blue savings sale going on right now at your nearest Hendrick Appliance, 2689 East Main Street in Boger City, 4027 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, and 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Hendrick's Appliance will be our defensive sponsor and our defensive player of the game award tonight. But 7-7 back here in Cherryville. Here's Bessemer City after the score on the kickoff. And here come the Ironmen on the return. A nice return. And that was Ryan Owens, a senior. Now the Ironmen will get their first crack at offense here in the second half with great field position down on the Ironman 41-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Ironman, and Henderson will go to work in that shotgun that we saw in the first half. Here he is rolling out to the right, going to fire, and we've got a flag, maybe a holding. Let's see what they call. Reiner Davis was coming across. I think he was the intended target. But he may have been held up. Let's see what they call here. We're going to go out and talk to Huss about what's going on this call.
Yeah, it's got to be a hold, Daniel. It's got to be. I mean, you know. Gonna leg a man downfield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's going to go against the Ironman. That'll be a 5-yard penalty against Cherryville.
11-105 in the penalty department now for the Ironman.
Wow. So ball back on the 36. And Henderson again, Abernathy to come across, fake off to him, and a quarterback keeper, and a combination of Huss and also that freshman we've been talking about tonight, Siegel, to bring him down. It's about the 3rd tackle tonight that I've called where Siegel's been involved. Second and 17 for Cherryville. Here's the handoff to Abernathy. He's not going to get around the corner, and that's a big loss for the Ironmen. Kadrian Pitts there to make that stop, or to at least slow down Abernathy so the rest of his defense could come in and clean it up.
-6 on the play, Daniel, back to the 28-yard line.
Momentum shifting heavily, wouldn't you say, Derek, to the Yellow Jackets. 5:20 to go here in quarter 3 on your B&B Building scoreboard. Fake handoff. Henderson on the quarterback keeper is going to bring up 4th down.
So what happened on that play right there? +2.
So back to punt goes Cherryville. Oh no, a high snap, and that's a fumble. Watch out. And he gets a foot on it. Wow.
That was great.
That was. And that one's going to roll
12-yard
up to the 41.
But you know, it's not bad considering the circumstances.
Tyler Beam was able to get that thing up off the carpet and get it away. He'll come off the field limping a bit.
That was not bad considering the circumstances. He could have been a whole lot
A high snap went over Beam's head. He was able to go back, track it down, pick it up at the last second, and get a foot on it. It's about all he could do. That turned out a lot better for the Ironman than what could have happened. Bessemer City now will take it back, and we've got a flag on the far side of the field. I think it's going to go against Cherryville. It's going to be a 5-yard offsides penalty against the Ironman. They'll spot it down about the 35-yard line of the Ironman. So official timeout as they talk about some things here. And we're ready to go. Bess under center now. A handoff to Mackey, and Mackey drags the pile up to the 30.
What did Mackey do? He got the first down, 6 yards.
Yep. Mackey on the first down. It's another Carpenter and Son security first down for Mackey. We're all knotted up, 7-all here, 4 minutes to go in quarter 3. Bessemer City pushing. There's Mackey again, and he's going to churn off about 4 more. Mackey down to the 26. Bess, pitch out. Nice run across the 20, 15, 10. Inside the 5, drives for the pylon. Did he get in? It looked like he did, but they're going to call him out of bounds. Let's see. At the 1. Wow. That was a nice looking run by Adams. Adams dove for that pylon, and they caught him out of bounds. It did look like he got in, but they're going to call it on the 1-yard line down there. First and goal, Bessemer City looking to score. Mackey pushes it through for a touchdown. That's another Bessemer City 1-yard run. Carolina Stalin cuts touchdown for Mackey. Cedric Mackey, Jr., 5'5", 175 pounds, barrels through to make it 13-7. Yellow Jackets trailed 7-0 at the half, and it's been all Bessemer City here in the second half. The snap for the extra point, the hold is down, and that kick is no good. It was deflected. So 13-7, it will stay. We'll take another quick break. You're listening to high school football right here on the What's Up Shopper Sports Network. Gaston County Game of the Week brought to you by KTC Broadcasting.
At McKinney Salinas Power Sports, service is a top priority. Their fully trained staff all ride the products they offer to ensure that you get the best service possible. They have an 18,000 square foot facility filled with a huge selection of motorcycles, four-wheelers, jet skis, and more. On the water, street, or off-road, they do it all. McKinney Salinas Power Sports is your officially licensed Suzuki, Honda, and Kawasaki dealer. 4804 Wilkinson Boulevard. Call 704-824-2787 or online at mscycles.com. (13-7).
Extra point was missed by Adams for the Yellow Jackets. Mackey on a 1-yard run. Here's the kick after the touchdown. Fielded out there by Davis. Here's Davis. And Kendall Huss again, they're in on the tackle on special teams to bring down Davis. Davis out to his 40-yard line. Ironman will take over. .308 to go in the third, and Bessemer City is on top, 13-7. It looks like the Ironmen jumped again. Back them up 5. That's another 5-yard penalty against Cherryville tonight. So it'll be 1st and 15. Handoff to Fuller, still on his feet and tripped up around the 45.
Six for Fuller. No, shoot.
11-yard gain for Fuller on that run. So 2nd and 4 for Cherryville. Here's Henderson under center. He's going to hand it off to Abernathy. Abernathy going to try to slip up through the middle, and he's slammed down to the turf. Forward progress will get him up close to the marker, but not enough for the first down. They'll spot it down on the 49. That'll bring up 3rd and 1 for Cherryville. Ironman on 3rd and short. Henderson. Handoff. I think it went to Fuller. Fuller still up and now taken down. He got the first down. Oh, fumble. Fuller fumbled the football, and
4 yards and a fumble. 4 yards first down and a fumble.
it's going to come up and go the other way as the Yellow Jackets recover the fumble, and coming up out of the pile with that fumble was Hoover. DeGario Hoover was the one who fell on top of it. And how about that? Cherryville with a turnover. Yellow Jacket defense stepping up.
Four yards, first down, fumble, turnover. Bessemer City takes over, leading 13-7 late in the third quarter.
Look at that run by Bess. We haven't seen him run one yet here in the second half, and that time he kept it around the corner, right up the midfield.
Gained 5 on the play, but Mackey has carried the ball 19 times for 72 yards. Here's a guy who did not play in the entire first half a week ago. Came on, had an outstanding second half last week. Carried the ball 19 times for 72 yards unofficially. As his team leads right now with 66 seconds in the third quarter of play. There he goes again.
There goes
and
Mackey,
there he
breaks away. He's got a man to beat it. They're going to catch him. They will. But that is a big gainer there as he busted up through the middle. And he saw that end zone, didn't he? But he was chased down.
49-5.
That was a nice stop by Andrew Thompson, I believe, was the one who came from behind to pull him down.
On his 20th carry, he goes 44 yards to give him 116 on the night and a touchdown.
So what a nice run there by Mackey. He's been running hard all night, taking some hard hits. And the Ironman just wasn't ready for that one right up the gut. So it'll be first down and goal to go once again for Bessemer City. They have done a lot of damage here in the third quarter.
Timeout.
Yep, we do have a timeout.
40 seconds to go in the third quarter of play. Let's check some scores here real quickly, Daniel, see what we got going on here tonight. We have West Lincoln 21-14 over North Lincoln. Kings Mountain 26-15 over East Lincoln.
Here we are out of the timeout, Derek. It goes to Mackey, and Mackey bulldozes into the end zone. And that's another touchdown for Cedric Mackey. Wow, as he just ran right over Cherryville's Alex Schnurr on his way for his second touchdown tonight. Carolina Style and Cuts touchdown once again for Cedric Mackey to make it 20-7. They'll go for two to try to make up that field goal they missed on that last touchdown. Here's Bess on the quarterback keeper, and he stood up. He's not going to make it, and we'll stay 19-7 with 28 seconds to go on your B&B Building scoreboard here from Cherryville. But Bessemer City has owned this second half, folks. Let's take another quick break. You're listening to Derek and Dan right here on the What's Up Shopper Sports Network Gaston County Game of the Week.
Farm Service in Kings Mountain has America's top-selling subcompact tractor of the decade, the Kubota BX Series. And now you can save big with this special offer from Kubota and Parker Farm Service. Now you can buy the new Kubota BX Series tractor for zero money down, 0% APR financing for 60 months. But that's not all. You get a $500 customer instant rebate. Find out all the details at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive at the Oak Grove, Highway 74 Bypass intersection, Kings Mountain.
Bessemer City up 19-7 after another Cedric Mackey touchdown.
That is 19 unanswered points here in the third quarter. Trailed 7-0 at halftime, 19 straight, leading the Ironmen.
Abernathy fumbles the football on that return.
This may be dangerous. Let's see. I'm going to say Cherryville kept the possession,
Cherryville
but man, that was tough.
That would have been tough if they would have coughed that one up. Abernathy had to run a long ways in to try to field that kickoff and just didn't get there in time and kind of bobbled off his hands and went to the turf, and it was a live ball, but Yellow Jackets couldn't come up with it, so Cherryville will keep the football on the 1st and 10 from their own 32.
I think that's the 36-yard line, 32-yard line. You're right about that.
We've got a timeout that had to be spent on the Ironmen. They had a substitution issue down there. It looked like Andrew Thompson was trying to get into the game late, and we're going to take a delay of game penalty, so they had to burn a timeout. Just a lot of miscommunication down there on the field, it looks like, from Cherryville right now. So we got 20 seconds to go here in the third, with the Ironmen 1st and 10. They had to burn a timeout. I don't know if you want to burn a timeout like that here in the third quarter. If you're trailing, you might need those late in the fourth.
They've burned some they've had to burn just because they had no choice tonight. I don't think all of them have been timeouts you wanted to take. They had to take them out of necessity. Straighten things out.
There's an offsides on Bessemer City. I think someone jumped a little early down there.
So on Cherryville, Daniel.
Oh wow! It looked like Lane was was the one trying to jump that count, and it'll go against Cherryville, like you said, Derek. That's just another one to add to the resume tonight for them.
North
5
Lincoln
yards.
21, West Lincoln 21.
Clock down to 10 seconds here in quarter number 3. Will they get a snap off? We'll see. Down to 7. Down to 5. There's the snap. Henderson on the keeper. And that'll do it here in quarter number 3. So your score, 19-7 as we end 3, and we go to quarter number 4. We'll take another quick break right here on the What's Up Shopper Sports Network. You see it right there, Bessemer City 19, Cherryville 7. We'll come back and bring you quarter number 4 right after these messages.
Yes, Cleveland County, you do have a train dealer. From Kings Mountain to Polkville, from Lawndale to Bellwood, from Falston to Earl, Roland Black Heating and Air will be there for you. They're only a phone call away at 704-865-1375. In minutes, a comfort specialist will be at your door for your heating or cooling needs. Yes, it's hard to stop a train. Again, call Roland Black Heating and Cooling at 704-865-1375. Your hometown train dealer for over 36 years.
Ready to start the fourth quarter. Switch ends here. It'll be second down for the Ironmen. (19-7) to start the fourth quarter. Bessemer City on top. They trailed 7-0 at the half, and it's been all Yellow Jackets here in the second half. It just seems as this second half has gone on, Derek, the Yellow Jackets have looked to be a lot more confident in the flow of their offense.
Well, Mackey's certainly the big player. Haven't had to throw a pass. Had 86 yards of offense at the break, 201 in the game now, so over 100 yards in the quarter and 3 touchdowns.
Handoff to Abernathy. He gets it out past the original line of scrimmage to the 31-32. He got 1 yard. 3rd and 10 for Cherryville.
What a big turnout around in the second half for Bessemer City.
Yeah, it looks like as we go into this fourth, the Ironmen are going to need a turnover. A turnover for a score or for good field position to get back into this. See what they do here on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. Will they go to the air? They're loading it up to the left and 2 to the right. In the shotgun is Henderson. He's got Fuller back. We've got a flag. A catch was made. Not a bad call for Andrew Thompson. And there it went again. Another penalty against Cherryville.
I think that should be the 13th penalty on Cherryville tonight. That pass would have been close to first down yardage. That would have been the 4th straight pass completion by Henderson after he went 0 for his first 2 tonight.
Not a bad call.
Little screen across the middle. See it in college football every day. 10-yard penalty. Back on the 25-yard line now.
So they'll redo it again after the penalty. Henderson back. Fuller going to block. Henderson
Pressured,
in trouble. And he is sacked. He's sacked in there by number 77, Zach Garrett. Also in there, it was Huss. Actually, credit Huss on the tackle.
-5 on the play, back near the 20-yard line. 4th and over 20 to go. 10:31 to go in the contest. 19-7, Bessemer City leads, and now the Ironmen will punt from inside the 10. Low snap.
Nice punt, though. Backing up to receive. It is. Across the 50, now to 45, to 40. This is Davis. And he's knocked out of bounds. Josh Davis on a nice return and a flag, so tack on some more on the end of it.
Punt 36 yards. We'll add to it on the penalty. Ball inside of Ironman territory.
Actually, they're going to call that one against Bessemer City. Block in the back.
10-yard spot of the foul. That is only the third penalty tonight committed by Bessemer City. They have been clean compared to their counterparts on this side of the field.
Still gives them good field position. Ball spotted on Cherryville's side of the midfield there on the 49.
East Rutherford 28, North Gaston 21, 2:22 third quarter of play left. After 3, Forest View 34, Clover 6.
Snap. And they try to toss it. That's a dangerous toss out to Adams. Bessemer City will lose some yardage on that one. Second down and long for Bessemer City. See if they go to Mackey. They do. Mackey across the 50 and trips down across close to the 45 to the, call it the 46. Yep, the 46.
6-yard gain for Mackey. That is his 22nd carry. 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, both in the third quarter. And he is now taking over this ball game. They're running down the clock, running out the clock with a heavy dose of Mackey up the middle.
This is a big down right here. A pitch out. Oh, and there's a fumble on the field. I told you Cherryville needed a turnover. There they go down the sideline. Do you see a flag? They will go into the end zone. There goes a flag. There went the flag. There's 2 flags. There's 2 flags. There's 2 flags out on the field. You got one down inside the 10, which is the one I saw. Someone pushed someone, it looked like in the back, down inside the 10. But the one that's way back here around the 40, what is that, the 44, 43 yard line, the officials will sort this one out.
Picked it up, by the way. 33.
Tanner Jones was the one they're saying picked it up and took it down the sideline. They'll have to go over and talk a little bit more before they sort it all out.
Clay Fuller. Now it was Clay Fuller that picked it up on the 46-yard line. 2 flags on the field. It's going to be a touchdown. Whoa! Put it back on the board.
So it is a touchdown. It was a penalty against Cherryville and a penalty against the Yellow Jackets. They all set, and the touchdown will stand on the fumble return. And there was that big turnover that Cherryville needed. They got it. They got it to get right back into this thing. 19-13. Await the point after attempt. Will they go for 2? still down there chatting about everything.
So the block in the back was down there. What was the one up here on the 45-yard line? Is that the taunting penalty or whatever?
Well, the scoreboard, it says 19-13, so they did signal touchdown. Now the officials will go over to the Bessemer City side and talk about it.
This has been a very strange game tonight, no doubt about it. 9:48, 8:48 remaining. For now, 19-13. 19 straight points by Bessemer City ended, we think, when Fuller picked up a fumble and ran it back 46 yards for a touchdown. Offsetting penalties. For a while, the touchdown was much in jeopardy. Offsetting penalties, touchdown stands. Now, guys in the striped shirts talking to both sidelines to, I don't know what they're talking to them about, but they're talking. So we're in a holding pattern here right now. Let's check a score, see what's going on elsewhere tonight. After 3, East Rutherford 28, North Gaston 21. It is Kings Mountain 26, East Gaston 23, late in the third quarter of play. East Lincoln 40, Q Foundation nothing. Forest View 41, Clover 6. Crest leads Ashbrook 19-14 tonight. So still kind of in limbo now to figure out what's going to happen.
Some type of penalty when
there was a penalty on the assessed on the extra point.
Yeah,
this will be basically a 35-yard PAT.
Maybe this is the unsportsmanlike.
Kick up. Kick is going to be...
It's a nice kick.
Good.
He got it. So 19-14 after that penalty was assessed for the point after. With 8:48 to go in this game. Wild happenings here in the fourth. We'll stick with it. So big turnover by Cherryville to pick that one up and scamper in. Defense got him some points. Bessemer City will get it back. You want to talk about a critical possession. This is going to be a big one for Bessemer City right here. Tyler Beam to kick it away. Here's a kick. Little squib kick picked up by Mackey. Across the 20, now the 25. He tries to turn it around, and he's stopped. And they'll start 1st and 10 from about the 27. Yeah, a lot of confusion on that last set of plays. Don't know what really happened on those penalties. Guess you'll have to get explanation after the game, huh?
Those guys usually get out of here pretty quick.
Unless the coach can give you some kind of explanation.
Well, they, yeah, I guess they could. Best
All
they
right.
can.
Here we go. Bess trying to hold on to this lead. Another dose of Mackey. up across the 30. You know, a couple series ago when Yellow Jackets, after they scored that second touchdown, they looked so good at how they were mixing up some of these offensive calls. You had a couple that went to Mackey. Then you got Adams involved once or twice. And they mix it up with Bess on a quarterback keeper. And they had Josh Davis who would get a couple carries. Run to the right, run to the left, mix it up real nice. Here's another handoff. Across the 35 to the 36. I think that went to Mackey again.
Yeah, that'll be his 24th carry. 4 yards on the play. 136 yards. 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. 19-14 to score. 7:35 remaining. Fourth quarter of play. Much better game second half, I guess, as far as the excitement level.
See if they go to Mackey again right here.
Whistle. And a flag.
Let's see who was off. Oh, wow. Went against the Ironman, Derek, for a first down. Bessemer City. That's an easy way to get a first down, isn't it? Clock continues to run. That was a nice break for the Yellow Jackets right there. It was up under 7:05 here in the fourth quarter.
And it's the 14th penalty tonight for Cherryville.
Snap, quarterback keeper, and there's a clip of about 3-4 more for Bess.
That's the first time Bess has carried the ball in a while. It's been all Mackey here in the second half. Bess got about 4 on the play. 3 on the play. 3 on the play. Just a hair over 3 on the play. Second, 6.5 to go. Just outside the 45-yard line.
Bess to Mackey.
Yep.
Mackey across the 50. And another first down.
10.
Into Cherryville territory. And that clock will get set and run.
25 for 146 for Mackey now.
Wow.
Again, the guy didn't carry the ball at all in the first half a week ago. Oddly enough.
Cherryville
there you go again.
Jumped
off sides. That will be the 15th penalty on Cherryville tonight. 15 for 130. 15 for 130 now. Penalties on the Ironman.
So a first down and 5 after that penalty. Another dose of Mackey. Seen it all night. Give him about 2. You get 3. Second and 2.
26 for 149 for said Mackey. Clock down to 5 minutes.
Yeah, this clock's
long
getting away.
scoring drive here for Bessemer City might do it.
There's Mackey. He's just got to protect that football, doesn't he?
And they can't stop him right now.
He's coughed one up tonight.
About 5 more. Ball marked inside the 35, about the 34.5-yard line. Clock down to 4:44.
Yeah, reset the sticks. First down for the Yellow Jackets.
Jackets taking their time. They can let this clock wind down. A couple more doses of Mackey, a couple more first downs. They may be able to run this thing out without having to score another touchdown and get out of here. 19-14. Got to protect the football, though.
They're going to give it to Mackey again. He had that ball. He held it up high, and then he had to bring it back in.
He had it with two hands. Now somebody from Cherryville says they've got the football. Watch out now. He ripped the ball out of somebody's hands. Andrew Thompson did. Then he got upset when it wasn't called a fumble. Kind of spiked it. Lucky he didn't get caught on a celebration penalty. That clock is now under 4 minutes to go in the game. Mackey picked up a couple more. Mackey picked up 2 more, second and about 3 to go, just outside the Cherryville 25-yard line. Clock down to 3:40 now.
Here's Bess, hand off to Mackey.
Up the middle again.
They're really trying to scrape at that football, aren't they?
Ironman look like they're back on skates right now, going backwards. Got a first down.
Clock continues to roll here in the fourth, 19-14, Bessemer City in the driver's seat. 7
more for Mackey Daniel.
Wow.
Clock down to 3:15. Ball inside the 20-yard line to 19. The Ironmen can do nothing right now except try to stop Bessemer City and Mackey. But the clock is running against them. Now we have a whistle and maybe a delay of game. That is the first thing that has stopped Bessemer City on this entire drive, was a delay of game penalty.
So that'll back them up 5.
Only the 4th penalty on Bessemer City tonight.
Yellow Jackets break the huddle. Here's the handoff to Mackey. He spins his way before he's taken down. That was a nice run. He twisted and turned before finally being taken down. Down to 17.
And a first down?
No.
Second down.
Second down. And 8. They go to him again. Yes, they did. All right, there goes your timeout by Cherryville. They don't want to let this clock run anymore. So while they break, we'll take a quick break as well. 2:20 to go, 19-14. Bessemer City on top, and looks like they are in control. We'll be right back.
Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ramlow. Right now at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors in Ramlow. Right now, during the Yamaha Perfect Choice Sales Event at Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia, it's the perfect time to get great low financing on all new Yamaha Wave Runners. From the race-ready FZR that reaches 30 miles per hour in under 2 seconds to the full-featured, comfortable and roomy FX Cruiser Show, the perfect Wave Runner is waiting for you. Hurry to Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia for a great low financing and choose your perfect Wave Runner. But don't wait, these offers end soon. Full Throttle Power Sports, exit 22 off I-85.
All right, out of the timeout, here's a toss sweep. Touchdown. And Davis gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
14.
Yeah, they were all in that box waiting for another dose of Mackey, weren't they? That was a very good call by the coaching staff of Bessemer City as they went outside to Josh Davis, and we know Davis has got that speed, and he was able to run into the corner of that end zone pretty easily as they packed everything in that box to stop a dose of Mackey, and There was no Mackey to stop because Davis went outside and got the score, 25-14. The point after, snap, hold, kick is good. 26-14, 2:14 to go. We've got a flag. We've got a flag, 2 flags down on the field after that field goal, but it is 26-14 on your B&B Building scoreboard. Bessemer City in complete control here.
So is it standing?
2:14
Stands right now, then, right?
to go in the game. Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct was the penalty, and an ejection.
Who was ejected for who, which team? I'll ask after the game. So was there yardage on the penalty, 15?
So Bessemer City will have a easier kickoff here as they get to tee it up on their Cherryville's own 45. Here's the kick. It's still not that good of a kick. A short kick, picked up and returned. That's a nice tackle with on the return for Cherryville. Was Owens, Ryan Owens, before he was tripped up. We're about down to 2 minutes.
And don't forget the Marburger Autos post-game show comes up at 10 o'clock tonight until midnight with Lewis Carpenter, Dennis Davis, and Steve Roberts. Terry Reinhardt. That'll be coming up once we wrap up tonight. Give them a call, by the way. I'll take your calls. Next week we'll be back in Bessemer City. Hunter Huss at Bessemer City. And that should be an interesting game. Carry-on Moore after the 1-week suspension, back at action. Jackets on a little bit of a high after winning tonight, assuming they continue to hold out and win this game tonight, back at home against Hunter Huss. And I think we'll be back in Cherryville in 2 weeks for another ball game here. Yes, North Gaston at Cherryville in 2 weeks, back here at Rudisell Stadium. The renovated Rudisell Stadium.
All right, out of the timeout, Yellow Jackets come back out with their defense. Don't want to do anything foolish here if you're the defensive bunch of the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets going to go into something conservative. Almost picked off, but then batted into the hands and caught by Andrew Thompson. But I tell you what, Yellow Jackets almost had one picked off, and that would have been a pick six. How did he not hold on to that one? Davis almost had that pick. Here's a throw by Henderson and a catch made. Owens on the catch. Ryan Owens. Yeah, it is getting a Getting a little chippy out there now. We run up under 130.
7.
Cherryville trying to move it quick here. Henderson back to throw. Avoids a rush. And it's incomplete. And we've got, what's that, a late hit flag? It'll be called on Lane. That'll take the football all the way down to the Yellow Jacket now, 45-yard line. And again, we talked about don't do anything foolish. Yellow Jackets were able to get a timeout and kind of talk about this series, and that was one of those things you could chalk up to foolishness. Here it is, 1st and 10. Going to air one out. That's incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Grant Henderson in offense. We will bring you our offensive player of the game, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports in Gastonia, and our defensive player of the game, brought to you by Hendrick Appliance, as soon as we conclude this one. Henderson on the shotgun snap across the middle. That's a nice catch. Was that incomplete? It was incomplete. He dropped it. He dropped it. It was a nice throw, though. And the traffic was right on the money.
Well, we got a chance. Want to tell you, I know you're real excited about tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be a big day in Niner Nation land.
Your alma mater going to play its first football game in school history tomorrow. I know it's a thing you've been looking forward to for a long time. You know,
win or lose, it's a big win for the campus over there just to even have a program. Let me tell you what they've had to go through to get that program, and all the political stuff that they had to go through to get that, and it's done. Here's a rollout, tip ball, and an interception, and that's going to do it. No, maybe not. That's going to come back. There's a flag, and that will be the 2nd touchdown tonight scored. Yeah, by Josh Davis, but it's going to come back. So Josh Davis, 2nd time he had a touchdown tonight. That looks like will come back. Let's see.
Should be incompletion or intercept. Oh, y'all get the ball back? Then it won't be an interception. It won't be a pass or an attempt. I mean, the play will be null and void, I think. Well, back to football for a minute on the college level. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. And there'll be a lot of good things happening tomorrow.
That's true.
There's going to be some bad stuff that happens too. So just remember that, my friend.
You know, I'll tell you.
It's not all, you know.
Hey, it's like I told you. You know, the good news is that this program is in a market that the TV junkies love, big time markets, right?
Right.
So that can only bring success in the next 10
Right.
years. If you're in a big TV market like Charlotte, you know, what big time schools, a.k.a. the University of Georgia, wouldn't want to schedule a Charlotte to come down to Athens to broadcast that signal back to Charlotte for recruiting purposes, right? They know that's a big market. Let's broadcast that signal back.
That's a good point.
And that's what I see some of these big time programs taking advantage of, is being able to broadcast that signal back to Charlotte, get some of these Charlotte kids' attention to those schools. Here we are on the rollout, Henderson, and getting out of bounds with 43 seconds to go.
So what happened right there? A completion by Henderson for how many yards? on the 20-yard line, 43.5 seconds. Probably too little too late now for the Ironmen, but showing some fight, hanging around. Took advantage of a tough penalty on Bessemer City to get this ball back down within reach of the end zone. Now we got an official's whistle, and it will be false start on Bessemer City.
I tell you what, this has been a funny end of a ball game here, hasn't it?
Got a final: West Lincoln 35, North Lincoln 27. That is a final score for you tonight. East Rutherford 35, East Gaston 28, 4:19 left in the game.
Here's one tossed, and there was a flag, but they'll wave it off because Abernathy was able to catch that for the touchdown. But that corner and safety were all over Abernathy.
15 yards to Abernathy. No, marker's on the 15. Yeah.
So decline that penalty where it will Cherryville.
First down 15.
Touchdown will stand.
To Abernathy, right? Yeah.
This could get interesting here. 26-20. So we await that point after. Snap, hold down. Got another penalty. Is that kick good? Legal substitution. What are we up to on penalties? The legal substitution on that extra point will waive that field goal off. They'll have to re-kick. So back them up another 5.
That is the 17th penalty.
Snap. Hold. Kick is no good. No good. Stay 26-20. As the Ironmen, I would have most likely imagined, going to line up for the onside kick. But indeed, tomorrow is the opening day. Some guys will call it Christmas of college football. Big games tomorrow. I think you got Alabama and Virginia Tech.
Yep.
It'll be a good game. You've got TCU and LSU. That one's actually going to be down at in Texas. LSU going to go on the road.
Neutral site, though, right?
Oh, yes, in
Cowboy
Dallas.
Stadium.
In Dallas,
Yeah,
Cowboy Stadium, that's right.
They're not going to Texas Christian, I don't believe.
And you've got the primetime game of the Clemson and Georgia game, which will be where the game day crew of ESPN will be in Clemson tomorrow. So here in the local market, do it right. Start things at noon. Watch the Charlotte and Campbell game on TV. I think it's on Channel 11, Fox or something like that.
It's on the former Fox affiliate, now the WCCB, Channel 18. The former Fox affiliate, now with the CW.
I will tell you, they're going to run a wide spread offense. They're going to throw it a lot. Bessemer got it on that onside kick. They're winning on unsportsmanlike flag, it looked like. D. White.
Yeah. Well, this should make for the second matchup later this year very interesting, because this has been a little chippy tonight, to say the least. Very chippy. But who was that got ejected?
D. White. D. White's been ejected. D. White. D. White.
2 ejections, huh?
How many more timeouts does Cherryville have? So I guess what we might see here is a Yellow Jacket knee, a timeout for Cherryville, and hopefully another Yellow Jacket knee that will get us out of here. Okay, there goes Bessemer City calling a timeout.
Well, the last 2 minutes has taken 20 minutes to play.
Got that right.
This game was moving along at a nice little fast clip, and it's just slowed to a crawl now. 32.2 seconds left. 26-20 is the score. Going to make the second matchup very interesting in a couple of weeks. Back in Bessemer City with a conference game on the line. 2 ejections tonight. Lots of penalties. Lots of personal fouls. Really a sloppy first half is giving way to a pretty interesting second half tonight. Very entertaining. Bessemer City has the football. Going to go in the victory pose and take a knee and get on the bus quick, guys.
We think Cherryville has another timeout, so they'll probably call one. There's the knee. And it looks like he'll let that just run on out.
And we got another timeout. Saw where Steve Spurrier and Larry Fedora had a little bit of one-upsmanship with each other last night. I think Spurrier was trying to throw the football late in the game last night, and then he called a timeout, and then Fedora called a timeout. And that game had a little bit of lightning in a delay down in Columbia last night. Now, I was at Bank of America for the Panthers game. I did not see much of the South Carolina-North Carolina game, but the Gamecocks came out and punched him in the mouth pretty quick and scored real fast and kind of had the heels on their heels, so to speak. And then the delay came, and no more scoring after the delay the last 8 minutes of the game. But certainly North Carolina had some high aspirations to go down there and give the Gamecocks a little bit of a fight, and didn't turn out that way.
That will do it on that last snap. Your final here, 26-20. Bessemer City will get the W in this rivalry game. I think that'll tie it back up. The overall series, something like 29-29 and 2 ties. Is that right? So they're all knotted up again in this series. Yellow Jackets 26, Ironman 20. It's 10 o'clock on the nose. Before we send it back to our KTC Broadcasting Studios for our live postgame show, want to give out our awards. Our Offensive Player of the Game tonight, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports in Gastonia, is going to be, no doubt about it, Cedric Mackey, who had over 130 yards rushing tonight for the Yellow Jackets. Congratulations to him. And our Defensive Player of the Game tonight, brought to you by Hendrick Appliance, also for Bessemer City tonight, is going to go to Dakura Siegel, who I thought had a great game at linebacker over there on that right side tonight. Again, Siegel, your Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Hendrick Appliance. So next week will be, again, week number 3 down in Bessemer City for the Bessemer City Hunter Huss matchup. We'll get things started with the Pepsi pregame show starting at 7 o'clock right here on the What's Up Shopper Sports Network. And again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. For myself, Derek Smith, and Jeff Terry up top doing the camera work. 26-20, Bessemer City wins. They'll improve to 1-1. Cherryville will drop to 0-2. Everybody have a great weekend, great Labor Day weekend. Until next time, we will see you next Friday night. Good night, everybody.